All right. That's probably about all the data that I need, at least from an engineering perspective. Can you help me with any architectural components you'd like to see?
So yeah, I've kind of grabbed what I've...
Sure.
Really extravagant.
Right.
You know, just kind of this.
I'll take a big
standard, you know.
That's pretty.
Couple posts.
What do you do for a living again?
I actually work at Fidelity Investments, but I used to build furniture.
Okay.
So, and so I've built. Before.
What do you do? What do you do for Fidelity?
Customer service.
Okay.
But yeah,
remember Peter Lynch? Okay. He started Fidelity Magellan when I was studying finance in Clemson 25 years ago. It doesn't seem like it was that long now. And he was the gold standard.
Yeah.
And running that mutual fund for a long time. Here's some observations I have. Happy to build a porch any way you want to. And but I would suggest that a couple things. I see a lot of mold, and a pressure wash might be a good idea.
Yes, I know. And that was one of our first things that
we can do that. And you notice from the brochure, there's very few things on your home that we learned that we can't do, and very well, and even to the point of trying to help, you know, your gutter here and all the way around, whatever you want us to do. Just, you know, we'll give you a free quote. And the other thing is running some vent, and whether you want that duct to turn and go underneath the deck or what, but we need to come up with a plan actually for 2 ducts. And the electric, I'm glad we see exterior, because we're going to have to actually move that to a light, which we might want to come off of this for your...
That's what I would...
Yeah.
But getting rid of that light.
Code will require an outlet there as well as outside. So if you could help us, you might want it on this corner, or that corner, depending upon what your use is. And I find that a lot of people that want decks also wants a little patio for the grills, because the grills has got to go somewhere.
Yeah. So, actually, the other thing, I mean, this would be further down the line.
Yeah.
Is, I would plan on expanding a deck on the other side of here.
Going that way.
I'm going that way.
Okay. And we can do that. Can you give us an idea, basically, if you want it to end here, or you want it to go further out?
I'd like it to go a little bit further out.
Sure.
And kind of, I was thinking like an octagon kind of a end to it.
Okay.
And, you know, obviously want to stay, you know, pretty short of that fireplace.
Sure.
Outing coming out.
Okay.
You know, just a set of stairs coming out from here, and eventually I'll have like a path from there to the patio and some kind of a doorway tied into here to get onto the deck from here.
It makes sense, and I would agree that once you have an enclosed structure where you do, I don't know, usually in the next phase is a 3-season room, because people that find that they like their house and where they live, and you've got a nice place because you've got a natural back that is not somebody's backyard. That, you know, usually houses like this you hang on to, and your patio to your deck, porch, you know, and it becomes a really nice place to entertain or hang out with your family. We will need a plot plan. Whoever does this will need a plot plan. If you can find one, usually, and it looks like there's a property line. It's kind of what I was peeking around for. If that's as far back as you go, we don't have any setback questions or problems. And the biggest problem is what's behind that wall. Because when we put a roof on, essentially it's going to be probably a 2x10 on the wall, and then run joists against it. And then it becomes what the engineers use the word loaded, because it's pushing that way and this way, and we got to make sure it's pushing to get something that it's supposed to be pushing against. And that's why we get our professional engineer involved. He's a good guy. He finished NC State about 5 years ago. He's done a whole bunch of decks for us and porches. But one question I have is that if in your mind's eye you can see all pretty brand new wood, and then you've got a decking surface that's not, and obviously it's and we can either keep what you have or replace it.
I think we'll keep what we have for right now. I'd definitely like to, you know, pressure wash it.
Sure.
Retreat it probably.
Okay.
Because I haven't decided whether or not whatever for wood I do, if it wanted some kind of a stain eventually to all kind of match it and tie it in.
Sure.
Together. But this I would think, you know, the decking at least leave the same for now.
That's fine. I will tell you that usually what we find is decking that's called a 5/4 board because it's a true inch. Another word is a 1x6, but usually 1x6 they use for the term that's a board that's 3/4 inch thick, and this is one inch thick. It's a little bit different. And porch lumber is actually a tongue and groove that interacts, and they're real close together. It looks like a completed floor, and you can add flooring later. It's not quite as easy, but it's not hard either. But I want to make sure that I prepare you for whatever problems you may face in the future, so that when you make decisions, they're fully informed and they're easy. So that if I would say, for example, the rail has got to come off, and we'll put all new rail on according to your picture of, you know, your 4 posts, and you know, you got your side door, and you know, getting a couple steps, which is going to be, let's see, 2 steps.